So, you get home, you give your dog a big hug, maybe toss him a treat, and you feel like the best dog owner in the world, right? Of course you do. But what if some of the ways we show our love are actually hurting them? Today, we're going to dive into some of those super common, well-intentioned habits that might be slowly wearing down your dog's happiness and even their trust in you. Let's get into it. Just think about that for a second. Not out of anger, not by accident, but out of genuine love. It's a tough question, for sure, but it gets right to the heart of what we're talking about today. That massive gap between what we mean to do and what our dog actually feels. And this is exactly why it matters so much. Scientific studies basically confirm that dogs have the emotional intelligence of about a 2-year-old child. They feel joy, for sure, but they also feel real frustration, real insecurity, and yeah, even real heartbreak. The trouble is, the things causing that heartbreak are often these small, daily habits we don't even give a second thought to. Okay, so our first section is all about loving our dogs, but kind of the wrong way. Look, these aren't acts of cruelty. They're super common mistakes that come from a place of love, but they just get lost in translation between our human world and their dog world. All right, this first one is a classic. You walk in the door, your dog's going nuts, bouncing off the walls, and what do? We match that energy, right? It feels like you're sharing their joy, but what's really happening is you're jacking up their nervous system. You know that pacing and whining they do after you've said hello? That's not happiness. It's anxious energy they literally can't shake off. Dogs need us to be their calm, stable anchor. By just waiting a minute before that gentle hello, you're teaching them that home is a peaceful place, not a chaotic one. Now, what's really interesting about this one is the biology behind it. Reaching over a dog's head is actually a pretty tense gesture for them. It's kind of what a more dominant animal might do, and they can't really see your hand coming. They might put up with it, but putting up with it is not the same as enjoying it. In contrast, those long, slow strokes on their chest or along their side, that's the good stuff. That literally releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone in both of you. It's a total game changer. Okay, so beyond how we greet them, some of our other actions can become these accidental anxiety triggers. Let's look at some of the invisible ways we might be creating stress in our dogs' lives without even realizing it. Oh man, this one is huge. When you take a dog's food away, even if you're just playing, you are not teaching them obedience. What you are doing is flipping a switch on a deep, primal fear that screams, "My food isn't safe. I have to guard it." This is literally how food aggression starts. The much better way, walk by their bowl while they're eating and drop something even tastier in there. This teaches them that you coming near their food means good things happen, not that their meal is about to vanish. You gotta remember, dogs don't get exceptions to the rule. They are hardwired to look for patterns. They thrive on knowing what to expect. For them, a predictable world is a safe world. When the rules are always changing based on your mood or who's visiting, their world just stops making sense. And this table just lays it out perfectly from their point of view. From inside your dog's brain, this isn't training, it's pure chaos. And an animal that can't predict what's going to happen next is an anxious animal. So often, what we see as a stubborn dog is actually just a dog trying to survive in a world that feels totally random and unsafe. This one is so important. When your dog is trembling during a thunderstorm, that's not them being dramatic. That's real biological fear. If they look up at you, their protector, and see you laughing or filming them for social media, they don't get the joke. All they understand is that you saw them in distress and you just dismissed it. Over time, that completely erodes their trust. Your job isn't to be cheerful, it's just to be a steady, calm presence. That's what builds a confident, secure dog. Let's just let that one sink in for a second. This quote really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? It asks us to pay attention, really pay attention, to the little signals our dogs are giving us. Are they leaning into your touch? Or are they just freezing up, waiting for it to be over? That difference? Well, it's everything. And that leads us perfectly into our next section, speaking their language. So many of the things we do as humans just mean something totally different in the dog world. Think about it like this. In the dog world, physical contact is like social currency. It's how they figure out who's in and who's out. So when we physically push them away, even gently, we're speaking their language, all right. And the word we're saying is rejection. We're signaling that they are being excluded from the pack. Using a verbal cue like off or sending them to their place sets a boundary without sending that same harsh social signal. And this right here, this is a really sad place for a dog to be. When they paw at you, when they nudge you, when they just sit and stare, they are trying to talk to you. If we ignore that over and over, they don't just stop asking. They learn that communication doesn't work. They give up. A dog who's given up isn't an easy dog. It's a dog who has lost hope that you'll ever listen. So if shouting doesn't work, what does? Well, shouting just pumps fear into the situation, and guess what? A scared brain can't learn. But this 3-step process, this works with their brain, not against it. You mark the behavior you don't want. You immediately redirect them to a better choice, and then you reward them when they do the right thing. It's clear, it's consistent, and it actually teaches them what you want them to do. You know, when you boil it all down, everything we've talked about really comes back to this final theme: building and breaking trust. It is the absolute bedrock of your entire relationship with your dog. A dog's crate is supposed to be their safe space, their den, their bedroom. It's the one place in the whole world where they can let their guard down. But the second we use it as a timeout spot, we poison it. We connect that safe space with feelings of rejection and punishment. And then the crate becomes a source of stress, not security, which completely defeats the whole purpose of having one. This is a tough one to hear, but it's so important. Dogs are pack animals. They are wired for connection. For them, being alone isn't just boring, it's a form of suffering. It is biologically stressful. So that destructive chewing, that constant barking, it's not them being bad. It's often just a cry for help from a lonely animal. Okay, so we've gone through all these things we might be doing wrong, all out of love. So what's the big takeaway here? What is it that our dogs are really asking for from us? And you know what? It's not perfection. It really isn't. It just boils down to these 3 simple things. Consistency, so their world isn't a chaotic mess. Presence, yeah, that means putting the phone down for just a few minutes a day to really be with them. And communication, which is really just about having the willingness to try and see the world from their side of things. And let's just end on this thought. It's not their toys, it's not the house, it's not even their food. It's you. The center of their entire universe is you. Everything they experience, everything they feel about their life comes back to their relationship with you. And when you really truly get that, man, it changes everything.